Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talk with a Doc. 2020 is the year that healthcare changed for everyone, and I'm excited to share a new thought leadership series brought to you by HealthSnap, where we hear from the nation's leading healthcare experts on their perspective of technology's role in patient care post-COVID-19. My name is Samson Magid, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of HealthSnap. And joining me today, we have Dr. Ashwin Mehta. Dr. Mehta, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure, Samson. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe you could start off with just a quick introduction to yourself, the type of medicine that you practice, and the organization that you're currently a part of.
Sure. So I'm the medical director for integrative medicine at Memorial Health System, which is a 6-hospital health system in South Florida. My background is as an internist. So I'm trained as an internist traditionally, and I have a subspecialization in sleep medicine. And over the years, I've always had an interest in how non-pharmacologic, more lifestyle and behavioral methods that draw from the wisdom of ancient traditions from all over the world can be used in a science-based way, in a very evidence-based way, in order to improve outcomes, patient satisfaction, and overall quality of care. So that's been my passion lifelong, and I've had a wonderful opportunity to develop a comprehensive integrative program here at Memorial. We train residents in integrative modalities. We are developing a robust research platform to kind of measure the impact of the interventions that we roll out. And we're heavily involved with our cancer survivorship program, people who are looking to use lifestyle modifications as a means of secondary prevention, to reduce risk recurrence. And we also have a very close relationship with our physical medicine and rehabilitation department, our neurology departments. So we see a lot of patients with chronic pain, inflammatory conditions, diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune disorders, endocrine concerns. All of these are really, kind of ways that we can empower patients to, use lifestyle and behavioral modification to improve their quality of life and their overall outcomes. That's what integrative medicine is all about. And that's what we've had the opportunity to do over the past 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's amazing. And as an exercise physiologist and training and hearing that in practice is the future of healthcare, and just so progressive and really exciting to hear. So thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Going off of that, I'm just curious. Technology, I think, has played a role in everyone's patient care over the last year, with patients being home and remotely. And I recently heard that virtual care is the best PPE when it comes to patient care. I'm curious, how has technology played a role in your patient care during COVID-19? And has your organization or department changed its strategy and thinking around technology in the future because of COVID as well?
Absolutely. So, I've been very impressed with just how nimble Memorial has been with regard to how we have adapted to the pandemic over the last several months. I agree that telemedicine has been a godsend for us. We have been sort of looking at ways of implementing the telemedicine platform within integrative medicine for the last several years. It's just that this pandemic really kind of forced our hand to kind of speed things up. And Memorial has adapted very, very nimbly for an organization as large as we are. Telehealth has been a significant aspect of our process. The changes in our process that have taken place that have really allowed us to continue our clinical operations, continue to connect with patients, continue to maintain that sort of doctor-patient rapport, which is so central to an integrative approach. That was really enhanced by telemedicine early on in the early months of this pandemic. And since that time, our technology has only, or our comfort level with technology, our use of technology has only been incrementally more and more with each passing month. I think what's interesting is we're now getting into an era where we can potentially measure how patient engagement is impacted by using these modalities like telemedicine, like remote patient monitoring, and such. So I think that the pandemic has really kind of sped up some of the technology innovations that healthcare sometimes is slow to adopt.
And just out of curiosity, how are the patients feedback? Have they been receptive in terms of engagement and adoption? And there's always questions about, especially the elderly population with technology. Have you had any experience in that? Do you feel like there's an adoption that's happening that you never would think happened before? How has that been so far with that?
I think that they've been. I mean, most of our patients have been really accommodating, very understanding, incredibly patient, because it can be frustrating. When they have a visit, but their hardware isn't they haven't configured their hardware to really optimize the consultation. There's so many different ways. Just as an example, during when I was signing on just to this video conference, my when I was using one browser, it wasn't recognizing my video camera. When I used another browser, it did. So that happens oftentimes, even in the context of providing patient care via telehealth. So it can be really frustrating sometimes. Probably the most negative comments that we've heard, from the surveys that we collect routinely, have been due to the frustration that as a result of being unfamiliar with these technologies. So I think having an ombudsman program, or just really having kind of a white glove approach to identifying those individuals who may need a little extra help, and proactively engaging them and making sure that they have a certain basic level of proficiency with the types of methods that we're using. Again, because of the pandemic, this was rolled out very quickly, and so how technology fits within our care design, we're still evolving that, and I think that's really what is going to further improve patient engagement and satisfaction over time, and increase people's comfort level with engaging, through using these types of technologies.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a great transition into the next point of discussion, which is something that's been talked about for a long time, over a decade now. But the concept of an idea of value-based care, and if we think about the role that technology, interoperable solutions that are built into your design as a very busy clinician, how the patient satisfaction, your care team satisfaction, the whole experience all together holistically works. I'm curious, what does value-based care mean to you? Have you guys engaged in any value-based arrangements with payors at your organization? And especially as someone that focuses in on preventive medicine and integrative medicine, I'd love to hear your perspective on value-based care in the context of your day-to-day as well.
So Memorial is a very innovative and forward-thinking organization. In fact, that's one of the reasons that I'm here, is that Memorial supports innovation within its physician workforce, and that's what's really nice about it, is that we can be doctors, and we can also be healthcare innovators, in our own respective areas, which is what I enjoy. Our organization has been very quick to adopt many aspects of value-based care. We have, for example, our cancer center, moving towards a accountable care organization, oncology medical home type of model. And really the inroads that Memorial has been making towards value-based care have been largely on the technological side. We have, for example, a social determinants of health wheel, that is a component of Epic, which is the electronic medical record that we use. So social determinants of health is being looked at. Population health components are being looked at. So right now, the value-based care model is focusing more on the technology side, data acquisition, risk stratification, etc. I think that where integrative medicine can play a role is, there have been many thought leaders in healthcare that have been asked the question, what aspects of healthcare cannot be substituted by technology. And the answer is the patient experience, the human engagement. And that's what we really pride ourselves on in the integrative space is, using motivational interviewing techniques to really engage and empower our patients to adopt these positive health behaviors. And it's really coaching. It's a mentor mentee type of rapport. And interestingly enough, I learn just as much from my patients every single day as they learn from me. And that type of interaction, that type of engagement, that sort of partnership, you can't really substitute. It can be enhanced by technology, I think, but it can't necessarily be substituted outright by technology. And so that's what value-based care means to me, and that's where I think what the future holds for integrative practices that adopt these kinds of technologies to enhance said patient engagement.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear, and certainly the future. Again, I think it's so progressive and so much more needed as chronic conditions continue to rise. As you start integrating some more complementary modalities than just traditional patient care. So it's great to hear. I'll wrap up my last question before we end on closing thoughts on your end. But as we start thinking about the future, I'm curious to hear if you could snap your fingers right now, what would be a solution or technology you feel is needed that does not exist or something you've never encountered before?
I would say technologies that help us understand our patients better. For example, technologies that can even sort of identify who are those individuals that might require a little more of a support and help as they're getting familiar with using a telehealth consultation, for example, to access some of their healthcare needs. Identifying how we can better meet our patients where they are. Which there's so much content out there, and there's so many platforms out there, which is better for which individual. I'll give the example of mindfulness meditation. Every single client who walks through our door in the integrative space here at Memorial gets nutritional recommendations, an exercise prescription, sleep screening, of course, and some stress management methods, some ways that they can kind of better gain self-awareness and manage the anxieties and stressors that are oftentimes heightened, especially during this year of a pandemic. So I think that those technologies that can kind of help us identify which is the most suitable mindfulness meditation practice for this patient, given certain personality characteristics or even certain self-disclosed preferences. Understanding cultural biases within our patients and understanding how those might actually predict response to yoga versus acupuncture, massage therapy versus some other type of manipulation technique. So I think the field of integrative medicine can really benefit from these types of technologies to gain better understanding into the preferences, the health literacy, the technologic proficiency of our patients, and really take a patient engagement to the next level. That's where I think that a field like integrative health can go with remote patient health monitoring, telehealth, and all of these other innovations that are being rolled out.
Absolutely. That's great to hear. So we'll wrap up closing thoughts. Anything that you'd like to share in terms of the work you do, technology's role in healthcare delivery, any closing thoughts on how this year particularly has changed how you're thinking about patient care in the future?
Well, I mean, they say that the innovation and necessity is the mother of innovation, right? So I think that as challenging a year as this has been for frontline workers in healthcare, for doctors, nurses, administrators, everybody in healthcare has just put forth a Herculean effort to get through this. But within those changes that have come through, there have been also tremendous opportunities. So within those challenges are opportunities for technology, opportunities to better understand how these technologies can be used, and I think it is going to segue into a very exciting time for healthcare. I think that we will see in very short order a a a more efficient health system, a more cost-effective health system, and a health system that engages and empowers patients and really focuses on improving the health of our population in this country in short order. So I think integrative medicine is going to play a pivotal role and when you combine the high touch that we deliver with integrative medicine with the high tech that is being rolled out, when you get that high touch and high tech combination going, I think you're going to really see some profound results and really transform what healthcare looks like today to tomorrow.
Dr. Mehta, I can't wait to see all that in action on your end.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for your, yeah, absolutely. It's always an honor and a pleasure to connect with you. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you joining us today, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to Dr. Mehta and his perspective on technology's role in healthcare. So thank you
My
so
pleasure,
much.
Samson. Stay safe. Take care.
Likewise, you as well.